So recently I went on vacation to Antarctica to hang out with my boy Pablo down over there. Me and him go way back, trust me. And on that vacation, Pablo told me that he got a notification on his smartphone down there because penguins have smartphones in Antarctica, by the way. And that notification was telling him that apparently the next upcoming structure deck, the DDD structure deck, got confirmed recently for Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. So Pablo told me to fly back to the recording studio, which I did. Really scared for my boy Pablo because now he's all alone in Antarctica, but I flew back here for you guys so I can make some content and all that good stuff. So that's why we're running a little bit late when it comes to the coverage of the brand new DDD structure deck. So if you want to help out my boy Pablo in these troubling times, you guys got to seriously watch this video from start to finish so I can make sure all that ad revenue will go towards helping Pablo. And Pablo told me, trust me, not me telling you, Pablo told me that all of you guys that are watching this video, if you leave a like and subscribe to the Watt007 channel, Pablo will be able to rest easy tonight while he's waiting for me to fly back to Antarctica. So if you could do that for me, that'd be appreciated. And without further ado, let's go talk about the brand new DDD structure deck because we got some brand new content to talk about for you guys. So let's get into it. So recently the OCG had a live stream on October 15th that covered all the new stuff for Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 World. They kind of did like a review and whatnot for Arc 5 World in the beginning of the stream, but the big stuff is actually them talking about Declan at the end of the live stream right here. As you can see, it confirmed that we're going to get DDD Doom King Armageddon, and we also are going to get some other cards that got confirmed in the little live stream right here. And as per usual, I'm a lazy content creator, so we're going to just take a look at good old duellinksmeta.com for all the coverage here. But again, all this information was taken from this live stream, so it's just actual confirmed information, not some, leak and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? Not some early leak like we usually get from Alpha Man and whatnot. This is legit. This is part of your regular scheduled program on advertising for the upcoming events. So we're going to be taking a look at this skill right here and going to be reviewing all the new cards that are going to be shown on stream here. And it's not really confirmed whether or not all these cards are going to be in the DDD structure deck, but most of them are going to be. So we're going to take a look at that. That is for sure. And without further ado, let's do this. So I kind of wanted to start off with talking about Command of the Doom King, because this will give us a good ground on like whether or not DDDs are going to be able to get playable with Pendulum Summoning, because thanks to Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links having the skill feature for its card games, it's going to allow us to play DDDs with Pendulums due to the fact that there's skills in the game that allow you to add Pendulum Zones to your fields. So from there, let's go take a look at the skill and see how restrictive it is on whether or not we're going to be able to use our scales on top of all of our back row. Because as you guys know that play DDDs, a lot of their core cards are continuous spell and trap cards that use to search and pop and destroy stuff. So having your back row filled up with your Pendulum Zones is going to be very difficult for being able to go for Pendulum Summons with the DDDs. So let's go take a look at this here. It looks like the Command of the Doom King, it says at the start of the duel, add Pendulum Zones to your field. You only can use this skill once per duel. And then its ability states, choose one DDD Doom King Argon to get in from your hand and add it to your extra deck. After that, choose from your field or deck up to one DD Pendulum monsters and put them in the Pendulum Zone. Their effects are negated. At the start of your next turn, return to the deck all the cards you have in the Pendulum Zone. The skill can be used only if you start the duel with a deck containing one or more DDD Doom King Armageddon, as well as 6 or more DDD Pendulum monsters. Extra deck doesn't count. So that's actually really cool right here, because again, that solves the big issue of, well, it's kind of difficult to play DDDs with clogged back row if you're trying to do the pendulum part of it. So with the Command of the Doom King alone, you're going to be able to play your Pendulum DDD monsters, and you're going to be able to play the search spell cards, and you're going to be able to play the continuous trap card that can pop cards. So that is awesome right here. Now, I'm not a DDD expert, nor have we read any of the Pendulum DDDs yet, so I'm kind of confused on the usability of the beginning part of the skill. I mean, yeah, the beginning part of this effect is weird for the fact that you get to send your Doom King Armageddon back to your extra deck. I'm hoping that it'll be at face up so that you can still Pendulum Summon your Doom King Armageddon. If that's the case, that would be pretty spicy, but I think since it says add it to your extra deck, it's going to be a face down, so you won't be able to Pendulum Summon it out, because if your Pendulum monster is face down in your extra deck, it won't be able to get Pendulum Summoned out, if I remember the ruling correctly. But being able to send your Doom King Armageddon back to your Pendulum Zone or back to your extra deck to then search for a DD monster and put it into your Pendulum Zone is going to be pretty huge, because that's one, searchability, and two, you can get any of your DD Pendulum monsters, and which one that you want to have for its effects are going to be important for being able to play well in your duel here. So just having that searchability alone is going to be good. I'm just not too sure how it's going to be returned back to your extra deck, or your Armageddon getting returned back to your extra deck, because it doesn't state face up or face down. If it's face up, that's huge. If it isn't, well, that kind of sucks because I don't think you're going to be able to Pendulum Summon it out. But again, you're going to be able to return all those cards back to you anyways, so it's not the end of the world. But yeah, it's still at the end of the next turn, all the cards that you had in your Pendulum Zone go back to your deck anyways, so it's nothing too much to worry about. But still having that searchability to be able to thin out your deck is going to be pretty spicy. And yeah, even though at the start of your next turn, returning to deck all the cards you have in your Pendulum Zone is going to be a little annoying, at least you're still getting that searchability to then choosing which DDD monsters you're going to want to have the most in order to go for a spicy combo. So that's going to be pretty cool right here. I'm liking this skill so far, and I think it is a genuinely good skill for DDDs. But let's go take a look at the DDD Pendulum monsters and see how well they're going to combo with the skill right here. So we're going to first take a look at Declan's Ace monster right here, which actually has a summoning animation, as you guys can see on the screen right now. It's a little awkward of a summoning animation, if I'm going to be honest right here, just for how weird DDD Doom King Armageddon's artwork is, but it's still pretty cool to see. And again, it's not a surprise that it's this Ace monster. We're kind of all expecting it because it's kind of his like main Pendulum guy that he went with. It's awkward, but you know, it is what it is. We have most of his bulk broken boss monsters in Duel Links anyways. But let's go take a look at this card real quick and see what action it has going for it. It's a level 8 scale 4 Dark Fiend Pendulum Effect monster. Its Pendulum Effect states once per turn it can target a DD monster you control. It gains 800 attack until the end of this turn, even if this card leaves the field. So that's a pretty big boost to be able to get over some of those big beat sticks in Duel Links. So that's pretty good right there. Also, if you have this on your field as a monster, once per turn with its monster effect, you can, if a monster you control is destroy a battle or card effect, you can target one of those monster. This card gains attack equal to a monster's original attack at the end of the turn. Not bad. This card cannot attack your opponent directly during the turn this effect is activated. That's kind of bad. Cannot be destroyed by spell and trap cards that do not target this card. So yeah, it has some cool stuff going for it right here. So I mean, if we ever get Mirror Force in the game, I don't know why I'm saying this, but F it, we're saying it. It can't get destroyed by that. But yeah, you guys get that part of it where like, yeah, if a like board wipe card would try to get rid of Doom King Armageddon, it can negate that with its last effect there. So that's pretty cool. And then this card has 3,000 attack and 1,000 defense. Again, it's the 3,000 attack rival boss monster card. So I guess that's why it's Declan's boss monster, and it was one of his like purse pendulum guys that he summoned a lot in the show. So it makes sense, but it's still disappointing because again, it's such a weird artwork. Like it's just not like you don't remember Declan for Doom King Armageddon, but at the same time, all of his like boss monsters were boss monsters. So there's too many to choose from. So you have to have one main target, right? And it had to be the Pendulum Boy here, that's for sure. But it's still a really solid level 8. That is for sure. Not too shabby. Let's move on to the next card. Next up, we're going to take a look at one of the main DD Pendulum cards here, and it's a scale 10 level 1 Dark Pendulum Fiend monster. You cannot Pendulum summon monsters except DD monsters, which, you know, makes sense because it's scale 10. Scale 10s are usually not generic. This effect cannot be negated. Dude, you can't even cheese your way out of this one. Sheesh. Once per turn during your standby phase, reduce this card's pendulum scale by 2, minimum of 1. Then destroy monsters you control at level greater than or equal to this card's pendulum scale except DD monsters. Dang, okay. Dude, this card right here really does not want you to abuse it right here. Like, if you're not playing the DD deck while playing this card, well, you got something for you coming to you, that's for sure. But again, this guy is going to be the core card to be able to go into your Doom King Armageddon, so that's why it's really powerful. And again, with the new skill for it, you're going to be able to easily search for the scale 10 right here to go into your DDD spam summons. Also, with DD7's Kepler's monster effect is pretty spicy because when this card is normal or special summoned, you can activate one of these effects. You can only use this effect of this card once per turn. You can target one other DD card you control returns to the hand, or you can add one Dark Contract card from your deck to your hand. So this card's really spicy right here because you're going to be able to cycle back DD cards you have on your field back to your hand. So if you need to recycle and put any of them back to your hand, you can. Or, which I think is more important, is being able to search for your Dark Contract cards, because then you can search for your spicy little, you know, Dark Contract with the Gate and Swamp King right here. So that is pretty spicy to take a look at right here. Again, being able to search or being able to bounce back DDDs you don't want on your field back to your hand is really spicy right here. It's a scale 10. This card is super useful. Definitely going to be a must stuff from the structure deck, that's for sure. Next up, we're going to take a look at DD7 Gilly. I don't know how to pronounce this card's name whatsoever, but this guy's going to be the scale 1 that we're going to take a look at here. Another core card for the Pendulum Shogun right here. It's a level 10 scale 1 Fiend Pendulum effect. Its Pendulum effect states you cannot Pendulum summon monsters except DD monsters. This effect cannot be negated. Once per turn during your standby phase, increase this card's Pendulum scale by 2. Then destroy all monsters you control at the level 10 or equal to the card's Pendulum scale except DD monsters. Again, Gilly, and then whatever this other one's called, and Kepler are basically the Time Gazer and Stargazer of, you know, the DD deck right here, which is really cool. But yeah, the scale 1 and the scale 10 is going to be able to go into all your Doom King Armageddons, and all your other DDD monsters you would need to go into. Dummy busted cards here for Pendulum Summoning for the DD deck, and I'm really happy to see these guys in the game. I'm very curious to see how broken DDDs are going to be when this is all coming out to the game, that's for sure. Also, last but not least, its monster effect states. During each player's turn, you can discard this card and target a DD or Dark Contract card you control. Return it to the hand, and you only can use the effect of this card once per turn. Again, being able to cycle back those Dark Contract cards are going to be super spicy with this card right here. Because again, if this is like a brick in your hand, because it is a level 10 after all, being able to just pitch this card and then return a DDD or Dark Contract card back to your hand is huge, especially with your Dark Contracts. Because if you already have some of your Dark Contract cards on the field already, like, you know, Dark Contract with a gate right here, if you already have this card on the field, and you didn't use it that turn, didn't use its effect that turn, you can use the effect of little Gaily here, and then be able to return that Dark Contract card back to your hand, and then you can replay it to do a search that you need to go into so that you don't brick. So it's pretty good right there. Again, it's going to be the scale 1 for your Pendulum Summoning, and on top of that too, you can recycle your DDD cards and just filter throughout all your stuff, since those this deck really fills up the field quickly. So it's just a nice little extra effect to really help you out throughout your duel. Next up, we're going to take a look at our first non-Pendulum DDD card that we're going to be getting probably for this upcoming structure deck here for Declan. It is going to be DDD Supreme King Kaiser out here, a level 7 Dark Monster. And this card states, when this card is Pendulum Summoned, all face-up cards your opponent controls currently have their effects negated till the end of the turn. Sheesh. That's actually really good. What the heck? Once returned during your main phase of this card's Pendulum Summon this turn, you can target up to 2 cards in your spell and trap card zones to destroy them. And if you do, for each destroyed card, this card gains an additional attack during the battle phase this turn. What? What? This card is a spicy OTK. Hello? Okay, I like this. Like, is this effect really going to stay the same once this guy gets added to the game? Because, like, again, this kind of like one of the cards that got showcased during this stream and whatnot, so I'm not sure if it's going to be an attainable card or if it was just one that the, like, you know, the whole like stream had it set up to where you can just, you know, like watch the stream and this is just the cool cards that they're playing. If this card is getting added to the game, this is definitely going to be one of the main OTKs for this archetype right here, which would just be dummy busted. But again, for the ability to be able to summon this guy through pen summoning and then being able to pop your pen monsters to then allow you to attack twice with this, that's pretty spicy. And being able to negate all face-up cards your opponent controls, that's pretty spicy. But at the same time too, it only negates the face-up cards. So if your opponent has any really good back row cards like you normally would have, hopefully if your deck's optimized well, then I guess this would like not like murder you right away. Because again, Karma Cut can take care of this card easy. You know, I guess Drowning Mirror Force, just, you know, stuff like that. I'm just thinking on top of my head. Floodgate, stuff like that's going to be able to easily handle stuff like this. So I'm not too sure yet. All I know is that if you see your opponent activate one of their DDD cards, you snipe that sucker out with your back row removal cards or snipe it out with your Karma Cuts right there. Because, yeah, this is just a free OTK if we're getting this in the structure deck. Because it's pretty decent being able to make it attack 3 times and negate all face-up monsters on the field. Like, that's pretty good, man. That's a pretty good effect. And then the last DDD card we're gonna take a look at right here is DDD Human Resources. The normal trap card states, shuffle 3 cards into the deck, any combination of DD monsters in your hand, field, or graveyard, and or DD cards in your Pendulum Zone, and you can add 2 DD monsters from your deck to your hand. So a little shot recycle card right here. I wouldn't say I would really run this in the deck. It's just a nice little recycle card, but again, you have to have 3 cards and this card to draw 2 cards. That's pretty awkward. This is no normal card at best, bro. I don't know, but hey, maybe it's good, but at the same time, it's like that's a lot of resources just to draw 2 cards, man. I'm telling you, it's a lot of resources, my guy. But no, overall, these are some really cool cards right here. Honestly, this whole lineup of stuff right here is actually dummy busted, and we're getting the best card of all, freaking Performapal King Bear. I don't even know if this guy's any good. And I guess this guy's decent. It's a little scale 7, and then once per turn, you can destroy this card if you used it to Pendulum Summon and then add a level 7 or higher monster to your hand that's either from your graveyard or face up in your deck. So you can search for like an Odd Eyes or something, which is cool. And then this card can't be destroyed by spell and trap cards while face up in attack position if it's a monster on the field. So that's a decent card. Nothing too crazy, but that's decent. But yeah, this is pretty cool right here. I'm looking forward to the structure deck. I don't know if this is going to be enough to make DDD's dummy busted. I really do not think so. But I think it's going to still be really good for the archetype. as they added the like best DDD scale 1 and scale 8s that they could have, in my opinion. Again, I haven't really researched any of the other pendulum cards right here, but I know those two are like core ones for the archetype. So you can easily summon your Doom King Armageddon, and with the scale 1 and the scale 10 DDD monster, you're going to be able to pendulum summon it into the rest of those core cards that are normally used in the DDD decks right now for a special summon here, not even your normal summon. So you can special summon what you need and then build your combos and then start spam summoning your fusion, synchro, all that stuff. And then if you still need to just wiggle in a normal summon, there you go, you can. So really good right there, in my opinions. The Command of the Doom King skill is pretty spicy, and that Doom King or that Supreme King Kaiser card is pretty spicy too. So overall, some really solid cards for a structure deck. So it's most likely going to be a structure deck EX here, and I'm looking forward to it. And fingers crossed will make DDDs a pretty good deck, because I feel like they've been waiting to be a top tier deck. They're really close to being top, or being like, you know, played in tournaments, but the deck was never able to reach to that point. So we're gonna have to wait and see when they get added on October 21st. I'm gonna make sure to make some content on this new structure deck for you guys when it comes out on the 21st. So be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, because around 60% of you guys are not subscribed. Other than that, though, it's gonna do it for me. Thank you so much for watching my late review on this. Again, I'll say Antarctica, my bad, guys. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one, everybody, and adios.